Okay, hello, 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 hello. Okay, sounds like you guys can hear me. Okay, so as you may or may not know, my name is Maria, and I am a PhD microbiologist um, and a startup founder. Um, on this channel, I will talk about my startup eventually, but right now, there are other things that I want to focus on, and that's I'm really into longevity and health and productivity. So, longevity, health, productivity. Um, and with the longevity, I also presently I'm a caretaker, the primary caretaker for my mom who has stage 4 liver cancer. So, I'll be talking about longevity protocols as well as anti cancer protocols and such. And the topic that I really wanted to talk about today, and it's kind of part of the my blog series as well, or my vlog series as well, is it good or is it bad, right? And I'm going to start by reading a parable, and then I'm going to tell you about my experience, and then we'll see what you think. So here it is. I brought up this. Can you see it? Maybe you can't because, well, anyway, this is a Tao parable and it's called What is Good or Bad? Okay, and I found it on Parker Houston's blog called Leads You First. But I've heard this story a number of times, right? And it's very interesting, especially with the real life example that I have going on. Two examples, actually. Okay, so a farmer and his son lived on a farm in a countryside. They owned a beautiful horse they cherished deeply. The farmer entered the horse into a village contest and won first place with some money. When his neighbors gathered to congratulate him, they said enviously, "How lucky are you to have such a remarkable horse?" To the neighbor's puzzlement, the farmer responded, "Who knows if this is good or bad?" Not long after, some thieves heard about the prize winning horse and stole it during the middle of the night. The neighbors came by and they expressed their sympathy to the farmer's loss, and again, confused by the farmer's calm response, "Who knows if this is good or bad?" The next week, the spirited horse escaped from the thieves and miraculously returned to the farm with several other spectacular wild horses. Again, the astonished neighbors commented, commended the farmer for his incredible good fortune, but his reaction was unchanged. Who knows if this is good or bad? Long after the farmer's son fell off one of the horses and broke his legs. Compassionate neighbors came again and said, "Oh, their heartfelt sorrow because the farmer's son fell off um, and broke his leg, fell off the horse and broke his leg." Um, the farmer said, "Who knows if this is good or bad?" A short time later, the king's army passed through the town, requiring all young able bodied men to be drafted into war. But the farmer's son was passed over because of his broken leg. By this time, the neighbors brought some food and simply came to enjoy the meal with the farmer and the son. They expressed neither joy nor concern for the farmer's current circumstances because they knew how he would respond. Who knows if this is good or bad? So the reason I'm thinking of this story is because of I have two incidents going on in my life right now. For The first one is about my mom. So she went to a party last night. We had her a party. It was incredible. Just an incredible party. For weeks now, she's been in bed, 2 weeks in bed, barely moving around. I mean, just enough to step up and use the porta toilet, 2 steps to use the porta toilet. And she's essentially been sleeping and laying around and not feeling well and things like this. And so yesterday she went to the party and she was so ecstatic. It is a revenge party, and I'll talk about it in a different video of how and why and just everything. But it was just fantastic, and we had about 10 people there, and she got up. She loves going dancing, and we took her to this bar that she used to go to with my father, and they'd go dancing every weekend. And she got up. We took her in a wheelchair because her energy was low, but she got up and she danced. Not one song, 2 songs. She danced like 12 songs. Like got up, danced 5 songs, sat down, rested. I was like, "Oh, that's so wonderful." And I got up again and danced and sat down and um so I knew when we got home that because she went from sleeping for 2 weeks straight to getting up and dancing like a ridiculous amount. And I knew I was like, oh crap, tonight's going to be rough. She's going to be like, sh- there's a potential for Charlie horse, or like she ended up throwing up. She ate some food, she threw it up immediately. But I was like, you know what, like when I at one point I went to train for this half marathon, and I trained with these guys that were way far ahead of me, than I was. Like I was kind of run walk and they were 10, 12 miles, no problem. And I try to keep up with them, and I pushed myself way too hard. And then I came home that evening and I ate some food and I like threw it up. I like vomited all over the place. Felt like shit, Charlie horses, whatever. And so anyway, she threw her food up. Okay. I didn't think twice about it. It's fine. She drank a little bit of Gatorade. There's this Gatorade she really likes now that we found. And then she went to bed and I was like, man, she's gonna be passed out all day and whatever. And or like and her eating, because she has stage 4 cancer, is like a big thing. You gotta eat your meals, you gotta drink, because like, she has a tendency to dehydrate herself. She just won't drink enough. And I was like, "Oh, crap." She was asleep all day. Wo Only woke up when I came to bother her, and then tried to get her to, like, "Hey, please drink, take a couple sips," and she took a couple sips in the morning, and then after that, she was just out, and woke up in the middle of the day to for, like, a 20 minutes for a phone call, and their nurse had come by to visit and check on her. And but the rest of the time she was asleep, and I'd rustle her up and she'd look at me and grumble and go back to sleep. And while I was a little worried of her sleeping all day, I was also like, hey, like any person that was out partying like she was, she didn't drink alcohol or anything, they would be passed out or sleep all day. So I was like, okay, okay, okay. And then I was freaked out, like she didn't eat anything, she didn't drink anything. I freaked out. Like, then if I put some thought into it, it's kind of like, is it good or is it bad? Or should I be worried? And then I thought about it and something clicked in my head and I was like, well, maybe it's not terrible, because that means she around one way of looking at it is that her last meal was around 7ish. She tried to eat at 10 when she got home last night, but she threw that up. So her last meal was around 7ish. And then She didn't eat in the morning. She took a couple sips of whatever, and then we're at 9 o'clock this evening. And so she didn't eat anything. She didn't drink anything except for just a couple sips. And then just now she asked for a cup of tea, which is great, right? She had asked for coffee in the morning but fell asleep. She had asked for food at one point. It took me 10 minutes to put the food together. By the time I came back, she was zonked out of sleep. And, I've been freaking out all day. Oh my God, she's not eating. She's not drinking. Oh my God, this is terrible. But if I look at it in a different way, number one, any normal person I mean, could sleep through the whole day after a party like she had because it was just fantastic. But, you know, one technique when you have cancer or when you have any disease you're fighting off is to fast. So she essentially had a 24, 25, so far coming up on 25-hour fast and borderline dry fast. So, and after 12 hours, uh, geez, what is it called? Um, Gosh, I gotta look up the term. Um, Not apoptosis. Oh my goodness. I'm sure, like, you guys probably already know the term, but, your body cleans itself up. Um, oh my gosh, what is the term called? Autophagy. So, there's a part of me that's always been like, well, if she could fast or intermittent fast, and then, after 12 hours, some autophagy would kick in and can clean itself up. And it's like, you know, if you lean into what the body is doing or needing, then like she just did that naturally, like, right? Instead of forcing her to eat or drink or whatever, which I tried to do, but she's like, no. But how do I know if it's good or bad? Like, on the bad side, oh, she's not, she might have lost some weight. She might have lost a pound or two 'cause she didn't eat all day. Um, but on the flip side, she has autophagy kicking in, and it could be cleaning up some shit in her body. So, like, how do I know if it's good or bad? Right? And I'm trying to get to the side of, she's been craving this black bean soup, like, quite literally 3 times a day. That's like the only meal, the black bean soup and a bean burrito and a cup of tomatoes, um, avocado, onion. She's just been craving that for the last 2 weeks, every single meal. I mean, we bring her over Chick-fil-A and she craves the soup. She's like, let me have the soup. And that soup has a bunch of vegetables, and she's not a vegetable person. And like, you know, kind of lean into what her cravings are, not worry so much. And hey, she had a day of autophagy. And I've always had the mentality of, you know, feed her, stuff her, make her um, on her good days, trying to get her to eat as much as possible in preparation for bad days or non-eating days. And this is a non-eating day, but I mean, is it good or is it bad? She needed to rest. She slept all day, and we got some autophagy occurring. And then now she wants a cup of tea, and I'll talk about the teas and the studies and the whatever. And like, that's amazing to me, right? Teas are very good, and they have anti-cancer properties. And I'll go through. I'll talk about it. I'll into some details. But I just felt like making this video and just talking about, is it good or is it bad? Another example, which I can't go into much detail, but there's this other thing occurring in my life, and it's like that's the number one thing that I needed to focus on, like other than my mom, like this thing, solve this thing. And my work partners, they're like, "Oh, I have this vacation here," and the other guy had this other vacation thing here, and turns out because of it, it created almost a 3-week window. And I could be like, oh my God, this is terrible. We're not working. We're not getting progress. Um, Everything's going to fall apart because we're not like grinding. Well, we've been grinding for years. And to secretly, I've been really burnt out and really having to find my inner oomph to push through and to do, and just haven't been producing and haven't been um, hitting the goals at the level that needed to right. And I was kind of secretly hoping for a little break, and just the fact that the two kind of vacations kind of like did this, and I needed to solve this thing, and it kind of gave me a 3-week window to focus on my mom, to try to heal from this burnout, and to recover from this burnout, and to come back fighting. And the ideas and everything are just like, and the creativity is kicking in, and good stuff. So while I was very scared of taking time off, and I mean, people take vacations, that's okay, but and for me it was like not like go to the beach kind of vacation. It was take time to take care of your mom and pray and meditate, and indulge in this creative outlet of YouTube. And um, so who knows if it's good or bad? And it's all about perspective. And like, I can look at it as like, oh, this is terrible. And then I could look at it the others like, hey, this is a blessing in disguise. And, um, I've been able to enjoy my mom for the last couple of weeks, and be there, and probably annoy her a little too much. But going over there every 30 minutes to an hour, like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Like, right. She's like, grr, leave me alone. Let me sleep. But, who knows if it's good or bad? And it's perspective. And I need to not freak out, because you know, like it's okay, right? And I already see like recovery, even though I look like shit. I looked pretty last night though, and I put some time into my outfit, and which I don't. I don't. I'm very bad at self care and things like this. But I'm realizing it's tool. It's a necessity. You got to be the best version of you so that you can be the best version for other people and to be at the top of your game. Because if you're going into the game at 60, 70%, like, and then trying to fight, you know, you know. Anyway, that's what I got. It's like, you don't know if it's good or bad, and it's okay. I mean, and things are okay. It's about perspective. Like, lean into the positiveness of the moment and accept the grace and the gratitude that's in front of you. Like my mom having a fasting day, whether she planned it or not. And I look at the signs and I'm like, hey, okay, let's look at this as a fasting day. Let's look at it as a day of autophagy. So, anyway, I just wanted to tell that story, maybe give some perspective to somebody. And let me know if you listen to this, let me know what you think. If you have any thoughts. And thank you for listening. I will continually work on making my channel better and better. And I appreciate your time. Have a good night. Bye.